Hello, my name is Varandavenu Galhenage, and my student ID is 2255210444. This is my custom project for SIT102 Dungeon of the Dread. This is a terminal-based mini RPG written entirely in C++. The player explores a dungeon with 5 rooms, fight enemies, and tries to survive. The project was built to demonstrate all the key concepts from the unit, including structs, arrays, functions, control flow, and pointers. Let me walk you through the full program. At the top, I include key libraries, iostream for input and output, string for string handling, and cst-lib and ctime for randomness. I also use using namespace std, so I don't need to prefix every standard function. Next, let's move to the character struct. This acts as a blueprint for both player and enemy. It stores the name, HP, which is current and max health, attack power, and the XP. This makes it easier to pass character data around in the function. Now I'm going to take you into the generate enemy function area. Here I define the generate enemy function. It takes the current room number and takes a random enemy. The enemy name is randomly picked from a list. Health and attack are scaled with room number to increase difficulty. The function returns a fully built character enemy object. This adds variety and challenge to each battle. Now let's move to the core of the game, the battle function. This takes a player and enemy and runs a turn-based fight loop. The player sees their own HP and the enemy's HP. They can choose to attack or heal. If they attack, damage is based on their strength plus a bit of randomness. If they heal, HP increases but can't go beyond their max HP. If they type an invalid option, they lose the turn. After the player's turn, the enemy counteracts unless it was defeated. At the end, if the player survives, they earn XP. If not, they get a game over message. Now, let's move to the print function. This function just prints out the player's name, current HP, and XP. I call it after each room so the player can see how they are progressing. Moving on to the main function, I first seed the random number generator with time 0, so each one is different. Then I create the player character with 50 HP, attack 10, and 0 XP. Next, the game welcomes the player and starts a loop that runs through 5 rooms. In each room, a new enemy is generated, a battle happens. If the player dies, the game ends immediately. If they beat all 5 rooms, they get a final victory message. Here's how this project meets the distinction level requirements. I used structs for characters, I used arrays for enemy names and room sequencing. I used modular functions for combat, stat printing, enemy creations. I used loops and conditional control flow. I used randomness for dynamic encounters, and I used pointers and references for updating shared data. This project was both fun and educational. Now then, let's run the project. To run the project, we need to use the compiler clang plus plus Dungeon. As you can see, the program is now compiled. Now let's run it. Dungeon. As you can see, I first chose to attack, but then I chose an invalid option, and the skeleton attacked 6 damage, which took all my health, and the game was over. This project was interesting and it was fun to interact with. I've got to apply everything I've learned in SIT102, from variable, sequence, and control flow to structuring code. Thank you for watching.